Okay, we're going to start in on our contrast to Western science by looking at indigenous knowledge. One of the things we're going to see is that there's almost a 180-degree difference between Western science and indigenous knowledge. And there's a whole lot of aspects that create that in that 180-degree opposition. And hopefully we'll be able to explain these and come to a better understanding of why these oppositions exist. You know, in contrast to the universal truth that seems to be the focus of Western knowledge and the search to increase knowledge and having a universal language to describe the world through mathematics, what we have with indigenous knowledge is knowledge that's very, very localized. And what that means is that all indigenous knowledge is bioregionally based. Now, a bioregion is a physical place, an area, and in that area there's a shared climate. Animals live in this particular bioregion. They may not live in other bioregions. The same with plants. There may be certain kinds of plants there. But within that particular region, um, all of the parts of the natural world work together, and they create a very unique place. And so when we look at bioregions, we might look at, say, for example, this area around Santa Fe, the Rio Grande area from La Bajada Hill, which is 15 miles south of Santa Fe, up to the headwaters of the Rio Grande. We might consider most of that to be one bioregion, although some people could quibble with it a little bit. Another bioregion might be the Sonoran Desert. Another bioregion might be the plains area between the Arkansas River and the Missouri River. Other bioregions might be the eastern part of the Great Lakes area or the area of the Pacific coast south of San Francisco and north of Baja California, which is in Mexico. So, those bioregions are fairly large, but it's still not universal. And what this means then is that there is no way that indigenous knowledge can be taken out of the context of the land that it comes from and made to apply in another place. That's the first thing to think about in terms of indigenous knowledge. The second thing is, rather than privileging theoretical knowledge as Western science does, indigenous knowledge privileges the application of knowledge. So you don't know things just to know them. You know them in order for them to be used by yourself or your family, your community, or your tribe in terms of that knowledge providing information about how to live in that bioregion. So another example of that would be that, or an example of that would be you don't just, it's not book knowledge, it's knowledge that's actually used in the community. So, and whether it's in medicines and foods, and how to adjudicate or how to resolve disputes, what's the protocol for invoking certain ceremony. All of these things is based in its application as opposed to just knowledge that sits in the book in the library. And I suppose the other part of this localized aspect of indigenous knowledge is that it's based in generations and generations of observation. Now, anthropologists and archaeologists in North America have had some real problems figuring out how long the various tribes have been here in North and South America. The only thing we can actually get them to agree upon is about 15,000 years ago, there were some hunters killed a mastodon over here in what we now call eastern New Mexico near a town called Portales. And they had a particular kind of arrowhead called the Clovis Point. And there was quite a few different groups of people who used that same arrowhead style, and the Clovis Point and the Folsom Point both come from about that period of time, have been radiocarbon dated. We can't get the archaeologists to agree on much more than that. Some people are very, very wedded to the Bering Strait theory, and other people are saying that maybe the indigenous people here have been around for 50 or 75,000 years. But people have taken their political perspectives, I guess you'd say. But we do agree that people have been here in North America for a minimum of 15,000 years. That's a long time to look at the natural world. That's a long time to think. That's a lot of generations. That's a lot of trial and error. That's a lot of just simple observation to see how the world works. And the result is that that's a very, very powerful set of knowledge. It's a very powerful knowledge system. Epistemology. It's a very, very, very powerful knowledge system that includes a number of things, not just medicines and foods, but we're also talking about how we govern ourselves, what the gender roles are between the male and the female for continuing and preserving the community, how disputes are resolved. So there's a whole lot to indigenous knowledge besides the things we often look at, and the thing that the West likes to look at, because there's a lot of money in harvesting native plants and looking for indigenous cures within the flora and fauna of a particular region. But it's a lot more than that, and it's based in this long, long period of time that our ancestors have been on this earth. So this idea of localized knowledge is probably one of the most foremost aspects of indigenous knowledge, and it's in stark contrast with the attempt at the universal knowledge that's found in the West.